What's up, graphic designers? Happy Thursday. It's October 14th. I'm so happy you're here. And we're looking at a real world example of some graphic design that I recently created for a local contractor and my buddy. And you're going to notice when you look on the right side of the screen, there are a lot of layers here, huh? So when we do images like this, where there's like levels of complexity, you're going to have dozens and sometimes, believe it or not, hundreds of layers. And beyond this, I'm going to share with you another example of how I'm using the Photoshop in my own life. So here we have a powder room that we've got on my first floor, and so we're in the process of renovating it. And my wife is really keen on like specific kinds of wallpaper, so I was able to find a pattern, add it to the walls, and then this is kind of cool. I was able to apply a gradient from solid to transparent and then drop the opacity. So if you look right here, it's at 20%, right? This is at 100%. That's bananas. But when you drop it down to like 22, 20, 33, 32, 33%, that all of a sudden, it looks much better. So she decided against this one. She decided against this one as well, and who knows what she'll ultimately choose. But today, what are we doing? So today we're going to talk a little bit about layer styles. So layer styles are super interesting, and here we've got a layer style on this text. So a lot of the inspiration from this class comes from like real world examples, like visuals that I see when I'm out and about in the supermarket, or like I'm just like cruising on Facebook or Instagram, and I find some cool images, but also in Barnes and Noble. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be reimagining just the title of this cover. And here is another powder room. I'm gonna close that one out. Actually, I think, you know what, guys, I think maybe I don't really care. I don't care what she chooses, but I think maybe she's keen on this one. I'll talk to you later about how to produce something that looks a little bit like that. Um, and so this is the bevel and emboss effect. Here we've got an example of inner glow. So this is the title of the book, The Last Shadow Warrior. And you'll notice that to the right of it, I sort of mostly eliminated that text. It's more or less gone. And what we're going to do is we're going to use layer styles, which is under the effects icon in the bottom of the layers palette. And you'll notice right here I took a screenshot. In this case, it's going to be inner glow, and you're going to write some text that looks a little bit like this. The blend mode is going to be normal, opacity is maybe 61%. And so with all of this, you're going to be experimenting. So I'm going to do this right now, and I'm going to look here, and I can see it's white text, The Last Shadow Warrior. And so I'm going to write well, today is picture day, so I'm going to write simply today is picture day. But here's the thing: this text, this font rather, it's like a signature font. That's not amazing. So instead, I'm going to increase the size, and there we go. Today is picture day. And I'm actually going to teach you something else, something called leading. So the distance or the space between text, right, is what we call leading. So we know that if we press enter, we can do a line break. If we want to decrease the size, what we can do is we can press and Command A, and then hold Option, and then up and down. So I'm holding Option, and I'm pressing down with like the arrow keys. And now all of a sudden, that's a little bit tighter, and that looks a little bit better than before. I'm press command, press check to confirm. And so now, how do we add a layer style? We're gonna click on effects in the bottom of the layers palette. We're gonna click on inner glow, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be sort of like reimagining whatever we have as our inspiration. So instead of purple, I'm gonna do this blue, and I'm gonna change the blending mode from screen to normal. That's really important. And then I'm going to boost it. So I'm going to increase the opacity, and I'm going to increase the size. And we can see, like, when you look right here, that's way too much, right? Well, or, I mean, probably we're going to go for something that looks a little bit like that. I think that looks, that matches sort of the original inspiration, right? And I think that looks pretty freaking amazing. All right. Now, once you've got the cover of your book all squared away, what are we doing? I'm going to use the rectangular marquee, and I'm gonna click and drag. I think we did this towards the beginning of the school year. And for some of the images, we're going to distort it onto like the rack or the shelf. And so I'm going to press and hold Command Shift C to copy all the layers. And then here's the example, right? I'm going to press Command V as an example, Command T. I'm going to shrink it down. Oops. Yeah, and you know what? This one I do have to hold Shift. Okay. You guys will not have to hold Shift. I'm using an earlier version. And we're super close. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to press V5 for 50%. I'm going to make it actually 80%. I'm going to press Command D to deselect. And check this out, guys. We're going to go to Edit. We're going to go to Transform. And we're going to go to Distort. And then I'm going to drag the corners. Top right to top right. Top left to top left. And each corresponding corner, so that ultimately we're going to have something that looks a little bit like this. And today's picture day is a bestseller at Barnes & Noble. I'm going to press V and then 0 to bring it back to 100%. Wow, that looks freaking awesome. That's amazing. All right, so here we've got an example of inner glow. What we're going to do is we're not going to superimpose this image. We're going to do the bevel emboss. So you're going to experiment with all the different other kinds of colors. We're going to have a few different examples of these sort of layer style projects. I cannot wait to see your work. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.